the conditioned. Asamskritas is the unconditioned. Samskrtadharmas is the conditioned dharmas. Asamskrtadharmas is the unconditioned dharmas. 1. Definition and synonyms of the Absolute. 1. The Absolute is the true nature of dharmas because it is indestructible and inalterable. This true nature of dharmas itself is empty. Why? Because there is no grasping or attachment in regard to it. If the true nature of dharmas existed, one would be able to take it and become attached to it, but as it does not really exist, one does not take it and one does not become attached to it. If one does take it and becomes attached to it, that is a mistake. 2. Furthermore, the Dharma supreme among all dharmas is called nirvana. Thus it is said in the Abhidharma. What are the dharmas surpassed by others? These are a. All conditioned dharmas. B. Space. C. Cessation not due to knowledge. What is the unsurpassed dharma? It is cessation due to knowledge. But cessation due to knowledge is nirvana. 2. Emptiness of nirvana. In nirvana, there is no nature of nirvana, and the emptiness of nirvana is the emptiness of the Absolute. Question. If nirvana is empty and without nature, why do the saints enter into the three vehicles and enter into nirvana? Furthermore, it is said that all the teachings of the Buddha lead to nirvana like waves all enter into the sea. Answer. There is a nirvana. It is the supreme jewel, the Dharma without superior, and it is of two kinds. 1. Nirvana with residue of conditioning. E. Nirvana without residue of conditioning. The nirvana with residue of conditioning is the cutting off of all the passions, thirst, etc. The nirvana without residue of conditioning is the exhaustion of the five aggregates assumed by the saint during the present life and the fact that they will not be taken up anew. Therefore it is impossible to say that there is no nirvana. But hearing the name of nirvana pronounced, beings produce wrong views, become attached to the sound of nirvana and provoke futile discussions on its existence or its non-existence. It is in order to destroy these prejudices that the emptiness of nirvana is taught here. If people are attached to existence, they are attached to samsara. If they are attached to non-existence, they are attached to nirvana. For myself, I destroy the nirvana, the one that is desired by worldly people. I do not destroy nirvana, the one that is grasped by the saints. Why? Because the saints do not grasp any characteristic in any dharma. Furthermore, the passions, thirst, etc. are metaphorically called bonds. If the path is cultivated, these bonds are untied and the deliverance called nirvana is obtained. Apart from that, there is no dharma that is nirvana. Imagine a man bound in chains who, once he is freed, engages in vain chatter, saying, "Here are the chains, here are the feet, what then is deliverance?" This man is foolish to look for a dharma deliverance outside the feet and chains. Beings do the same thing when they seek a dharma deliverance elsewhere than the chains of the five aggregates. Finally, dharmas are not separate from the Absolute and the Absolute is not separate from the true nature of dharmas. The result is that the emptiness of the true nature of dharmas is the emptiness of the Absolute. These are the various names used to designate the emptiness of the Absolute. Samkrta Samskrta Sunyata. 6th section. Emptinesses 7 and 8. Emptiness of the conditioned and emptiness of the unconditioned. Conditioned dharmas are dharmas comng from a complex of causes and conditions, namely, the 5 aggregates, the 12 bases of consciousness and the 18 elements. The unconditioned dharmas are dharmas without causes or conditions, eternal, unborn, undestroyed and like space. I. The twofold emptiness of the conditioned. Here, the samskrtadharmas, the conditioned dharmas, are empty for two reasons. 1. They are empty because they have neither me nor mine and because eternity, immutability are lacking in them. 2. The samskrtadharmas, the conditioned dharmas, are empty of samskrtadharma characteristics, are not born, do not perish, do not exist. Question. Since the me, the mine and eternity are absent in them, they are empty. Why do you say further that the samskrtadharmas, the conditioned dharmas, are empty of characteristics of samskrtadharma? Answer. Since there is no being, these dharmas are without basis. Since they have no eternity, they have no time of duration, and not having any duration, they are non-existent. From that, we know that these dharmas are empty. Question. In the samskrtadharmas, the conditioned dharmas, eternity is absent. Is this lack of eternity an emptiness of being or an emptiness of things? Answer. 1. Some speak about an eternal atman. But it is as a result of a mental error that they posit an eternal atman. This emptiness of eternity introduces the emptiness of beings. 2. Others claim to consider the mind as eternal. Thus tien-wang said that the four great elements and material derived from the four great elements are non-eternal, whereas the mind or the consciousness is eternal. Now the mind is not eternal. This emptiness of eternity introduces the emptiness of things. 3. Finally, others say, the five aggregates are eternal. Thus the aggregate of form, although it suffers transformations, does not perish, nor do the other four, such as the mind. We, however, proclaim the emptiness of the five aggregates. 1. The emptiness of things. Therefore the emptiness of eternity introduces the emptiness of things. 2. Conditioned and unconditioned are interdependent in emptiness. Furthermore, the yogin considers the true nature of the samskrtadharmas, the conditioned dharmas, and the asamskrtadharmas, the unconditioned dharmas. They have no agent. Since they exist as a result of a complex of causes and conditions, they are all false and deceptive. They arise from memories and thought constructions. They occur neither on the inside nor on the outside nor in between the two. They are the result of the mistaken visions of worldly people. The wise man finds no self-natures in these samskrtadharmas. He sees in them only simple metaphors serving to guide worldly people. He recognizes their falsity, unreality, non-birth, inactivity, and his mind does not become attached to them. Furthermore, the saints who do not grasp these samskrtadharmas attain the fruits of the path. Considering the emptiness of the samskrtadharmas, the conditioned dharmas, their minds do not become attached to them. Finally, outside of the samskrtas, the conditioned dharmas, there is no asamskrta. Why? Because the true nature of the samskrtadharmas, the conditioned dharmas, is unconditioned, and this unconditioned nature itself is not conditioned. It is but an imaginary expression created by the mistake of beings. The natures of the samskrtas, the conditioned dharmas, are production, disappearance and duration alteration. The natures of the asamskrtas, the unconditioned dharmas, are non-production, non-disappearance, non-duration and non-change. This is the first gateway of entry into the Buddhadharma. But if the asamskrtadharmas, the unconditioned dharmas, had such natures, they would be conditioned. The nature of production of the samskrtadharmas, the conditioned dharmas, constitutes the truth of the origin of suffering, and their nature of disappearance constitutes the truth of the cessation of suffering. But if really these samskrtadharmas are not produced, they do not